Hi, I'm Harveen Narula, CEO of Commerce, and I'm here to present to you the Commerce Project, which is going to fix a multi-$100 billion problem. This is an exciting market opportunity to grow network value in the traditional business of trade finance that's been done for hundreds of years, but in a new way, using blockchain to solve an old problem of trust. In the next few minutes, I'm going to go over the problem in trade finance in Africa, our solution, the size of the opportunity, which is huge, why we are the right team to address this, and our growth path. And after that, we'd be happy to take your questions on any of the aspects of the project in detail, including taking you through our demo. Coming to the problem. This is a shot of the border between Rwanda and Congo in Central Africa. Since I started my logistics business there 5 years ago, this border and others like it are where I've spent significant time. The one thing that struck me time and again is how little of the goods that are traded across these borders are actually financed. Traders are moving single containers when they have the clear demand for multiples of that. I drilled down to understand why and identified the problem to be the lack of trade finance. The African Development Bank estimates at least a $120 billion trade finance gap in Africa, and those are 2014 numbers. Why is this gap so large? In developed countries, there's a proper infrastructure for financing trade, but not so in Africa. The problem there is a lack of trust. As a financier, you can't easily identify who is trustworthy. There's no way to know for sure who has a history of fulfilling their payment obligations, so you just don't lend. That's why trade there is just a fraction of what it could be if people could just have a way to trust one another. Without financing, importers can't buy, and without payment assurance, exporters will not sell. Thus, no trade happens. This is a multifaceted structural problem. It involves many parties with different interests. It therefore needs an ecosystem-type solution to correct the trust deficit and incentivize all the parties to fulfill their obligations. This is exactly what Commerce does using blockchain technology. Commerce uses a platform that relies on blockchain technology to manage the interactions between these parties. It manages the financing of goods, it tracks the movement of goods, it captures payment for the goods, and it times the release of goods to ensure that custody over the goods is maintained until payment is complete. In this way, it's possible to build a tamper-proof history of who fulfilled their deals. This trustworthy data corrects the problem of the lack of trust. I want to highlight in particular the capturing of the payment history. The Commerce platform does this by having traders use tokens that are issued by Commerce to make payment for their trade goods. In this slide, you'll see how the platform does this, with tokens moving through the platform as the trade transaction is managed. Payments made are therefore automatically visible on the blockchain with no possibility of faking. That's how you get reliable trade history. By creating this reliable trade history, the platform enables the community to reward those that fulfill their deals, but also to discipline those who don't. This gives parties a strong incentive to keep trading honestly on the Commerce platform. We're happy to take you through this in detail after the presentation. Also, I want to point out that this is not the first time that an ecosystem approach has been used to successfully fix a lack of trust and to unlock a huge market. Coming now to how big the opportunity is. The market opportunity for Commerce is to get that $120 billion gap financed. All of that trade, as it moves onto our platform, will have to use Commerce tokens in order to be tracked. That's an enormous repeating transaction flow onto the Commerce platform. This slide shows the network growth that we're aiming for in the next 10 years. To execute this, we assembled an all-star team with proven capability in finance, logistics, capital deployment, blockchain, and trade, both in Asia and on the ground in Africa. A strong advisory group brings expertise to Commerce in key areas such as treasury, blockchain adoption, and impact. Our partners include a licensed fund to manage the Commerce treasury for us and a major Japanese-owned African port operator to handle secure warehousing arrangements on the ground in Africa. The Commerce platform can be expanded across all emerging markets, whose trade volume as a whole is approximately $1.5 trillion every year. That's the amount of trade that we could bring onto the Commerce platform. Join us to make it happen.